Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. Hi, everyone. How's everybody doing? Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Come on in, come on in. Say hello, say hello. Okay. We're going to make it real short because I got to get out of here. Say hello when you come on. Hi, everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Hi, Mr. Lowell. How are you? Good evening. Good evening. Isn't Mr. I can't see, so bear with me. If I can't see the photo, but I see the first name is Damilola. So bear with me if I'm anyway. Are those kids on the profile picture? So is this a he or she? Because I think you have kids on the profile picture. Hello, Mr. Okwayemi. So we're going to talk about your comments. I have put up a post and say, hey, what topic do you want to talk about? And so that was one thing Mr. Okwayemi said wanted to learn more about. Well, I guess we all know, but talk more about that. So let's talk, people. Hi, everybody. This is Attorney Abisela Olani Samuel, immigration lawyer based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. Got an immigration case. My firm handles that case. We can and do represent immigration clients regardless of the state you live in. Yeah, I can say that in my sleep. And I'm tired, I'm hungry. But anyway, if you need to set up a consultation with us, we will gladly help you with that. Consultation allows me to delve more into your case, specifically evaluate your case, give you options if there are options in your case, and you can have some people don't retain me, but they have clarification of what needs to be done, and that's a win-win as well. So let's talk today. And if you haven't followed us on Instagram, please do so, and TikTok, as well as subscribe to the YouTube channel. As is someone who is my subscriber on YouTube, thank you very much. Appreciate your support. And share this video, like our page, and let's spread the immigration word. So that at the end of the day, this whole country, we don't even know what race and what it is anymore. So let's talk real quick about evidence for marriage-based green card. Evidence for marriage-based green card. And yeah, I'll try to get to the comments real quick, but let me talk about this. Marriage-based green card is basically you are married to a citizen or a green card holder, and they have filed an I-130 on your behalf. You have filed your I-45 simultaneously if you're able to. For the most part, and that's what it happens when you know to adjust status in the United States. Generally, you will be scheduled for an interview, and then the purpose of the interview really is to be able to prove that you have a good faith bona fide marriage, meaning your marriage is real. It wasn't entered into just for immigration benefits. But so you have the burden to sustain that. And what can you use to prove your marriage that your marriage is real? Obviously, the very first thing you want to make sure that you have or you've taken care of is making sure you have all the forms you need to file in your marriage-based application, so that you do not risk your case being denied or your case being rejected. You know, I-130, like your spouse files that. Your spouse also has to file the I-864, affidavit of support. And then your forms as the beneficiary of the I-130 and the I-864 will be the 485, I-485, which is your application to register permanent residency, 765, which is application for work authorization, your 693, which is your medical examination, and beginning October 1st this year, everyone that is applying for a green card must be vaccinated, must have received the COVID vaccination. As well as if you intend to travel while your case is pending, you can file the application for advanced parole, the I-131. So once you've done all that, you get your receipt notices, set up for your interview. Part of what you should have submitted to start with are bona fides. Bona fides are basically evidence to support you, that your marriage is good faith. You didn't enter that marriage just for immigration purposes. One problem that a lot of people one problem they come across or they encounter is the fact that a lot of immigrants are just coming in. A lot of people, by the time they're applying for the application for a green card and I-130 simultaneously, some people don't even have a social security number. Some people have been lucky to be on F status or some kind of status that allow them to have social security number. But majority of people don't even have a social security number that will allow their spouse to add them to lease agreements, to on the utility bills and all that. However, it does not mean you cannot build that, because the thing is, now there are some field offices where they're scheduling interviews even before some people receive EADs or social security number. It doesn't exempt you from still having bona fide evidence of your marriage, irrespective of whether you have a social security number or not. USCIS is well aware that there will be some limitations to you having evidence of commingling life together, but there are substitute or alternative evidence that you can use. So first of all, let's answer Mr. Opemi's specific question in his comment, saying, is it mandatory or compulsory for um, a couple to have joint account? It is not mandatory, but it's very helpful. If you don't have a social security number, it's hard to get your spouse on that. However, if you have a credit card, you don't need your spouse to have a social security number to add them to a credit card. You don't. I don't, unless I don't know what kind of credit card you, but you can add someone as an authorized user on your credit card account. And in that regard, if it's a credit card that is used for the family, where you use that for groceries or paying bills or whatever the case may be, where you're able to show that each party has their own card and each party is able to use their card and have transaction report showing that both party, husband and wife, they're individually using their card for things that have to benefit the household at different times. So that's one way you can get around a bank statement, even if you do not have such a current number. So it's not mandatory, but it helps, because nothing is more. One of the things that is strong as a bona fide is the fact that you are commingling your finances together. Because, money is huge. Money is, I think they said money and communication, or lack of communication, the top reasons people split in the marriage or relationship, whatever the case may be. So being able to do that together is evidence that you are actually building a life together. Photographs. So I hope that answers your question, Mr. Pammy. Photographs are another thing. Photographs are important. Not just wedding photos where everybody's at a courthouse and then, let's all come together and take photos. No, anybody can do that. Tell a story about your relationship with photographs. Don't just start from when you got married. Start from before you got married. When you were dating, did you go out together? Did you have dinner dates? Did you go on vacation together? Were you just hanging out with barbecue? Things that normal people who are not, or nobody's not normal, but people who are not looking to file immigration benefits or immigration applications, what are those people? What kind of photographs are they taking? We all have people we have friends on social media. We have different ideas of, you don't have to go form though, but if you just take, document your relationship prior to the marriage and continuously after the marriage, that builds up a bona fide relationship than everybody just gathered at the courthouse and that's all the photos you have, or you're sitting in the living room and it's just two of you in one photo and that's what you sent in. That's not enough. So we've talked to banks, even if you don't have the credit card bills, if there's some landlords or whatever that would not allow you to add a name of a tenant to a lease agreement, or banks that would not allow you to have some if they don't have social security number. But there are some utility bills that you don't need to have social security number for your spouse, as long as you are the one who is financially liable for that bill, but you want to be able to show that your spouse is a part of that resident and they can have access to that account. So say for instance you have a cable bill. You don't need your spouse's social security number to add their name as an authorized user of that account. It's just basically so that they can make inquiries into the cable, the cable account for the family. That helps them to have their name on the utility bill without being financially liable for that. But at least that gives them the authority to make decisions on the account. And if you have this record where you have called and you made inquiries about the cable company or whatever the case may be, you called the power electric company to come fix something in the house, things that it wouldn't take, people may not think, but you have to think outside the box. So that if you don't have social security number where everybody gets a lease agreement, everybody gets life insurance, car insurance, health insurance, and all that are good bona fides, but sometimes you're limited because you don't have enough yet. If all else fails, you can always get people to attest in affidavits on your behalf, to be able to attest to the fact that they knew you guys before you got married. They've known you to be a husband and wife, and they know that your marriage is real. Now, one problem with affidavits is this: a lot of people will send affidavits without identification of who the author of that document is. One thing I've seen that works in my practice is whenever, and I've stopped doing, unless the person just does not want to give up their identification card, a copy of it. But the most part, 95, 97% of the time, I don't have a problem getting a copy of the identification card of the person who is writing an affidavit on behalf of a client. Here's why that's important. Anybody can write a document. Anybody can attest to anything. Yes, you have to go to notary public and all that. But there are some people who know notary publics as family members. So that doesn't count. But when someone is willing to share a copy of their identification with the federal government, right, then that makes that affidavit a more credible evidence than one without identification, to show the officer the identity of the person behind that document. So affidavits are good. The sworn statements, the good as sworn testimony in court. But what good is it if they don't know? Because in court, at least you can see the person giving testimony. Affidavit, yes, someone notarizes and says, this is where I live. I don't have anywhere to prove that unless I go and search and all that. But if I already give you that information up front, that shows you that I have nothing to hide. And that shows the person that this person's willing to be called if they need to be able to attest to the fact that, yes, I wrote that document on behalf of the beneficiary, of the applicant, the petitioner. And yes, that is me. Let's see. Vacation photographs are also huge. I think I mentioned that, but not just wedding photos, everyday life, photos of you being with your spouse's children, photos of, a dinner with co-workers, out of the norm, not out of them, but regular everyday things that anyone would be expected to have. And most importantly, out of everything, because there are a lot of people who have all sorts of documents to show. You have to get your story straight. When you go for a marriage-based interview, sometimes they would, many more times now than not, they will separate you guys during the interview. You have to get your story straight. You've got to prep. You've got to remember what you put in your applications and your petitions. You've got to prep with it. You have to know each other's kids' names, the children's date of birth. What did you have the night before? Where did everybody sleep? What did you do the weekend before? What is the name of your spouse's father? What is the name of your mother-in-law? What is the name of your sister-in-law? Where does your spouse work? Where did your spouse work before then? How did you meet? How did your spouse propose to you? What kind of ring did they buy? Things that, they can ask you anything. What is the color of the door to your house? What is the color of the garage? because they have officers who will pay you a visit at home to verify that information. If they cannot verify that information, or your stories have a lot of inconsistencies, that's where the problem lies. They would disregard everything else that you submitted in black and white and now focus on that discrepancy that you have just testified to under oath. So I usually say give them, if they tell you 120 days, give them 120 days. If you're going through a year now, you can start worrying, or not worrying, but at least trying to get your congressperson involved, do an ombudsman inquiry. But very first thing you want to do is to do an e-request or call them and say, hey, what's going on? I-130 was approved, and my approval notice prior date was March 2006. I filed I-360 in 2018. So the only thing that makes sense to me in that regard is because you most likely had an initial I-130 that was filed on your behalf before you filed the 360, right? Can you confirm that? If you had an I-130 that was filed back in 2016, then, and now you now switched over to a VAWA case, then you will be able to capture that priority date from the I-130. Thank you, Mr. Adebayo. So, Star, I think that's what happened. Most likely. I'm not sure if you're still here, but yes, if you can confirm that, just put it in the comment section and I will read it later on. So, Mr. Okwem, did I answer your question? I hope I think I did. If not, you can shoot me a text. But if you have, or shoot me a comment. If you have more than one question, you already know I'm going to make you pay for consultation. But anyway, so invite your friends to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, like our Facebook page, and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Tons and tons and tons of information there. So thanks to everybody who jumped on, and until next time, everybody. Once again, the contact information, I'm not sure if I said it initially, but it's scrolling across the screen. 334-341-4475, AOS at olalalawfirm.com, or you can visit our website at olalalawfirm.com. Bye, everybody.